we're going to talk about one of my favorite ways to improve thoracic extension, and that is thoracic extension end range liftoffs. So a lot of times we need to strengthen the end ranges of motion. That's where we get a little bit of mobility improvements, and for thoracic spine, that's definitely true in extension. Definitely one of the common things we see. So Ryan is here to demonstrate how to do that. We are first going to go on his stomach and kind of see what his range of motion is to start. So I'm going to have him go flat on his stomach. Elbows are going to be overhead, so we're going to get a little lat component here. Bend those elbows and try to keep the hands away from each other. This is going to be pretty hard for Ryan. He's got a little stiffness in his lats, but from here, we're just going to look at what his range of motion is. So what I want you to do is imagine pulling these together, lift your whole elbows and your whole upper back as high as you can. Good, come back down. So Ryan just demonstrated his full thoracic extension. He was able to lift pretty far off of the ground here. When we are looking to improve our end ranges of motion to really increase our mobility and active movement, we want to go to the very outer limits of what our current control is and then really push it. So these should be very difficult. For Ryan, since he was able to clear several inches off the ground, we are going to elevate him. The goal is to find a position where you are barely, if at all, able to lift off without compensating a lot everywhere else. So the way we do that for him is yoga blocks right now. He's going to find the new position, keeping his belly button kind of on the ground here, tucking his belt buckle just a little. The way we approach end range liftoffs is, you don't have to do this yet, is a deep inhale in through your nose, creating lots of tension in through your stomach, and then slowly ramping up, floating your limbs, floating yourself into that position, sustaining that contraction for some amount of time, usually about 5 seconds, and then ramping back down and relaxing. The ramping up and down is very important to make sure that we are getting true control and not compensating. So Ryan's going to demonstrate what that looks like here with thoracic extension. He's got his elbows here, his hands, we're trying to fight to keep them away from each other to promote a little more external rotation, just to fight those lats a little bit. Now he's going to inhale in through his nose, create lots of pressure here, tilt his belt buckle towards his nose. He's going to slowly start contracting and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's going to slowly come back down and relax. So note that when you are lifting into thoracic extension, you are thinking about pulling these together, and we are lifting your chest and your elbows all at once. We are going to demonstrate one more just so you can see how it's done. Inhale in through your nose, tilt that belt buckle towards your nose, slowly contract, lift up, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and come back down. Do not forget that your head is attached to your spine and needs to come up with your thoracic spine. Do not leave it hanging down, and do not use your neck to crane into extension. Show them what that would look like if you were compensating with your neck. So a lot of times people lift with their head first and try to lift up from there, and that is not very comfortable for your neck, and that's not ideal. So minimize that by keeping your head chin packed, kind of come up here, show them what that chin packed position looks like. Maintaining a nice long neck, good, just like that, and come down. So he's working pretty hard, he's pretty exhausted. That's how you should feel when you are doing your end range liftoffs. Very exhausted, they're not very easy. Normally we recommend about 5 rounds of 5 seconds just to start. That's going to depend on you and where you're at, but at least making sure that you are ramping up, holding that for a good amount of time, and ramping down. And that is thoracic extension end range liftoffs.